ASMR Magical Tools. Hello, welcome back. Today we will be talking about the Hierophant tarot card. And we'll go ahead and start with Tarot of the New Vision. So down here at the bottom we have the crossed keys that represent the keys of St. Peter to the pearly gates of heaven. We have the lamb representing the innocence of Jesus on the cross and how he died for our sins. This is a sacrificial lamb. We also have these two monks on either side, one wearing a blue robe, this one wearing a robe covered in what looks like poppies. Poppies also have a certain symbolism of remembrance. He's holding a snake, he's holding a dove, war and peace. We also have up here in the hand of the Hierophant that's carved on the back here, we have him holding this type of cross. Now, interestingly enough, he is sitting on that throne with his arms raised, but we cannot see any crowd on the other side of him like we could on the Emperor card, right? Although the Hierophant also to some extent rules by divine right. Now, the Emperor stands for order and stability. The Hierophant represents the status quo, social mores. Here again we have the crossed keys. We have two figures here in front. This time he's wearing poppies. I think poppies is like remembrance of veterans who died at war. I think is, please, if you want to talk more about the symbolism of poppies, please do down in the comments. Let me know. And then we have lilies, which are about purity, and can also be about remembrance in other ways. Lilies are often part of Easter bouquets. Here he's still holding this type of cross that has three cross beams. He's putting his hand up in this type of symbol, and you can see the Pope usually has this headdress that is, well, the Hierophant has that headdress that's similar to the Pope, right? He's definitely a religious figure, and in most tarot cards he is depicted as being heavily Christianized, although I do have Egyptian tarot decks where he's depicted as wearing a jackal mask for Anubis. So this card, which is from the Initiatory Tarot of the Golden Dawn, does actually go into the fact that the Hierophant corresponds with the astrological sign of Taurus. Now, this can draw in some of the Taurus traits, like the element of earth, the second house of finance and possessions. Other than that, his symbolism, he has this long scroll of edicts. Remember also that Martin Luther nailed his 98 Theses to the door of the church. Well, that was a response to how many of these religious edicts are written out on these long scrolls like this. The High Priestess, remember, has a scroll, but it's the truth. She has it rolled up and concealed on her lap. So here, it's quite a different type of symbolism. These are edicts for everyone to hear. And finally, let's look at the Hierophant from the Cosmic Tarot deck. Now, I forgot to look up this alchemical symbol, but there's an alchemical symbol up the top. He, again, is wearing this headdress. You can see his divine vision. So while the Emperor rules through divine right, you could also say that the Hierophant rules through divine vision. He's holding what very well could be a tarot card, right? And he has several different kinds of subjects down here. We see women on the card now. We have multi-ethnic male figures there as well. And he's not facing them. They're facing him, but he is looking forward. Or he could be looking to the past as well. If you are doing a Celtic cross spread, you would have past, present, and future. He could be looking toward the past. So let's start and pretend that I drew the Tarot of the New Vision card and that it is in the upright. We will mix these cards up a bit. Say when. Say when. Stop there? Okay. So the cards that I drew are the Hermit and the Eight of Wands in the reverse. Now, the Hermit and the Hierophant are very interesting bedfellows indeed. The Hierophant is a spiritual figure. The Hermit is a spiritual figure. It could be that the two of them are at odds together. The Hermit being looking inward for spiritual growth, and the Hierophant representing other people coming to one person in pursuit of enlightenment, right? And then we have the Eight of Wands, which can be about swift endings in the upright. In the reverse, it can mean that things are actually quite drawn out. So there could be these two figures existing in dichotomy to each other, that the Hermit is attempting to light the way, but the Hierophant is drawing the gaze. It could also be that the Hierophant and the Hermit are representative of a spiritual state of affairs for a single person, where this person is seeking enlightenment, but it will be a long time before they achieve it because they are trapped in the confines of organized religion. All right, so now let's pretend that I pulled the Hierophant out in the reverse. Okay. So I have the Three of Swords and the Five of Cups in the reverse. To me, so one thing that the Hierophant can also represent is marriage. To me, this looks very much like Three of Swords, the Heartbreak card, Five of Cups, disappointment. It looks like a past broken engagement, but something that happened long enough ago that you could be over it by now. Now let's look at the Cosmic Tarot, and we'll pretend that I've pulled this card out in the upright. So again, we have the juxtaposition of the Hierophant and the Hermit. And as you can see here, the Hierophant is even kind of facing the Hermit in this case. The difference, of course, being that the King of Wands is in between. So this could be speaking to someone in specific, since the Hierophant and Hermit have come out twice together. If they come out again, I'll draw new cards, but this time I will read through because it can show how the meaning can shift slightly depending on circumstances, right? So the King of Wands is someone who's very aggressive, can even be someone who is abusive, prone to a hot temper, and quick to anger. It could be that this person needs to go through quite a bit of soul searching, and they could be involved in a religious organization. It's possible that this person is involved in a religious organization, and due to some action on his part, has been given a suspension from his position within that organization. So now let's pretend that I have pulled the Hierophant out in the reverse. I'll shuffle some cards. I'm not cheating, I promise. Oh, interesting. So we have the Hierophant coming out in the reverse. We have Justice coming out in the upright. And we have the Nine of Swords here as well. The Hierophant here could be related more to the status quo and where society's moral compass is pointed. And right now it could be shifting, causing great nightmares for a lot of people. But you have to trust that justice will eventually prevail. Let's work now with the Initiatory Tarot of the Golden Dawn. And we will assume that I have pulled this card out of the deck upright. All right, we've got the Death card here, and we have the Ace of Cups in the reverse. So, the Hierophant could mean marriage here, and that this marriage means the death of a new emotional start for somebody. It could also be that the Hierophant is upright. Let's see. The death of an end to a new emotional situation leads to marriage. Because the chalice is... Okay, so I read both of those as though they were relationship related. And the reason that I did that is because of the Ace of Chalices. Because the cups are about emotion and the flowing of our emotions. A lot of times they do have to do with love relationships with other people. Let's pretend now that I have pulled the Hierophant in the reverse. Here we have the Four of Wands, the Moon, and the Hierophant in the reverse. So the Moon is about things being unclear. And here we have two cards that could represent a few different things, one of which is marriage, right? So it could be unclear at this time as to whether you are going to get married or not. Let's look at some other meanings of this as well, though. The Four of Wands figure. She's very stout, and she's looking over this cooking fire. So Four of Wands is also about having plenty, having enough to get not only full, but also fat, if that's what you want to do. The Hierophant in the reverse can also be a shifting of one's moral compass. So then the Moon showing that it's unclear moving forward what the moral compass will be, and also if there will be enough food on the table. And finally, we'll look at the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. We've got the Hierophant, this time in the upright. One more? Okay. All right, so here we have the Page of Cups, which can be an offering, and we have the Seven of Wands, which is about defending oneself from all sides. Combined with the Hierophant, it could be that you do not feel the need to defend your opinions or offer them to others. This could be about your own moral judgments, that you neither feel the need to defend them nor proffer them to other people. We will also read this card in the reverse. And this time I pulled out the Lover's card, which we will be going over soon, and the Eight of Swords, and those are both in the reverse also. Now, I'm going to read this two ways, because another thing that you can choose to do, right, you can choose if you want to, if it looks like all of the cards come out in the reverse, you can actually just flip the spread over and read the cards as all being upright. And especially if you're only reading 3 cards, that makes a lot of sense to do. So I'm going to read it as though these cards were reversed, but then I'm going to flip them upside down. So the Lover's card and the Hierophant here really speaks to something having to do with marriage for me. And because the 8 of Swords is here too, it could be that somebody feels trapped, but they're not really trapped. Now, I said I was going to flip this spread, so if this is in the reverse, it could actually be referring to the other person. If it's in the upright, it could be referring to you. But if you are getting this reading to find out about somebody else, like if you are in love with somebody who is engaged to somebody else to get married, it could be in reference to them. Or it could be in reference to a family member who's getting married. So you can see that even though the spread, as it stands, looks very straightforward, there's a lot of nuance to how it comes out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you enjoy these videos, if you enjoyed this video in particular, please like, share, hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends. I hope you had a great time. I also had fun. I love seeing you guys. And I look forward to seeing you again very, very